I've been thinking and I've been taking some time to reflect, and I was thinking was my master's degree at LSE actually worth it? Hello, welcome, hey, hi, woo, hi, welcome back to my channel if you're not new here, and if you are new here, welcome. It's nice to see you, nice of you to join me today. Just a little bit of intro about myself. I'm Felicia Jensel, which is the title of this channel. I am an economist by profession and, part-time. Wanna be a baby? But yeah, so in today's video, I've been thinking and I've been taking some time to reflect. And I've had a lot of change in my life recently. I've moved out of my parents' house. I quit the civil service. I started a new job. And I was thinking was my master's degree at LSE actually worth it? The rushing from this lecture to go and work part-time and then back to lectures again, and then was it actually worth it? Did I need it to be where I am in my career right now? I wanted to share that with you guys, just in case you might be considering studying a master's at LSE, or you might be considering starting a master's in general, or you just want to hear my story. Let's get onto the video. So why did I actually end up applying for masters at LSE? Guys, I'm not gonna lie, when I finished my undergrad, I was like, no, I'm absolutely not ready to work. I know come this life to suffer. I had just finished my undergrad in economics and development studies at the University of Manchester. I got a first class and I was like, yo, I'm on a roll, this is my calling. Maybe I need to go into academia because I was safe, I was comfortable, and I knew how it worked. I knew what I could do, my capabilities, so, masters can't be too hard, right? Also, I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid of rejection, just applying for jobs and getting rejected, so I was like, yeah. So I applied for a master's. Wanted to apply for it because I actually wanted to be a development economist. I still do at some point, but, the journey is a little bit, it's a bit higgy-haga at the moment, so bear with me. And in order to work in the field of development, you actually need a master's minimum. That's the entry requirement. So, I thought, yeah, it's a good thing to do. Why not? So I applied for LSE. I considered Oxford. Then I saw what they were asking for. I said, no, I can't provide that. That's a bit too much for me. I was looking for development econ courses. So courses with economics and development that just fused together. Come together like that. That's what I was looking for. I was stuck between development management and local economic development. The issue with development management was that it wasn't economicsy enough for me because, I had an economics background. I also applied for a similar course at UCL, which was urban economic development. And I'm not going to lie, I preferred the course content on UCL's course as opposed to LSE's course. So you're probably thinking, so why did you go with LSE? Well, the long and short of it is my dad was paid in it, so he had the final say, and from his perspective it was like, LSE, full of prestige, a place where presidents and prime ministers are made, and therefore his daughter should study at LSE. So here we are. It wasn't like he paid for the whole masters because I'm not from a rich background. Yeah, he just covered the gap between the postgraduate loan and what was left over, basically. LSE is a pretty small campus. You can literally walk around it in 10-15 minutes. Literally just explore the whole of the campus. It's really small. I was based in the geography department, which was a surprise to me because I thought I would be in the economics department. The course I did was actually in economic geography, but I like the fact that my course wasn't in the economics department or straight econ because, the economics, I'm actually from London. I'm from North London. I'm from Enfield. Big up the Enfield gang. Whoop whoop. Still got my girl from Enfield because studying in London is quite the experience, especially if you're living at home. First of all, let's not even get started on the commute because it was just long. On top of it, it's expensive, man. It's expensive. I couldn't live or have survived that whole year without getting a part-time job. So I actually got a part-time job at Apple, and let me tell you something, I was running in between lectures and the shifts at Apple. I would finish lectures at 4, my shift would start at 4:30 or something ridiculous like that. I'd just be running. Luckily, the Apple store that I was working at was at Covent Garden, perfect, because it was a walking distance. I definitely did dip into my overdraft during that year. It wasn't nice. So a little bit more into the details of what I liked and what I disliked about the actual master's course itself. One, I really liked that it was a really small course. I cannot remember the exact numbers of how many there were on the course. But yeah, it was a really small group of people, so you were able to make connections with people quicker, get to know and have a feel for everyone who was on the course. On top of that, everyone on the course was from different backgrounds. So we had people from Asia, we had people from South America, we had a whole bunch of people from Europe, as well as people from the UK as well. So it was a big mix. I also liked the fact that it seemed pretty close-knit, the relationship between the professors and the students. So it kind of felt like the professors were more connected to you. You were able to speak to them, approach them a lot more easier than you would if you were sitting in a lecture theatre with 400, 500 other people and they all want to get the lecturer's attention. Like, that's long. But we were able to have like a bit more of a personal relationship with the professors. You know, we'd go to the pub, we'd drink with our professors. That was nice. I also like the fact that each of the professors, they were really good at what they did. They had their own research projects going on. They were going off doing talks, really interesting pieces of research, and they were just, you know, well esteemed in their job. And it's quite nice to know, like, wow, I'm learning from somebody who's at the top of their game. Okay, on to what I didn't like. My course was taught by all men, all white men. There was no diversity in the teaching of that course whatsoever. They did say that one of the women who was on the course before, but yeah, basically she was not available for that year. But even so, one woman, come on man, it's the 21st century. This was 2018. I mean, it was completely male dominated. There was no women teaching the course. I found the course to be quite Eurocentric. And then when we did branch out of, the Western hemisphere, we'd go into like India or China, but not in detail. Just snippets. And, dip our toes into South America. Africa was not even it was not even a consideration. Luckily, so you can pick modules from other areas or disciplines to add up to your credits. So I actually took a course in urban Africa, which I found really interesting, really good, and was right up my street. So that helped quench my thirst for, understanding the African context. I'm not gonna lie, the course was diverse in where people came from, but it was still white. There was only 2 black girls there, of which I was one. There were no black men. We had a few people from Asia as well. I think this is probably just symptomatic of the academia space in general. One of the biggest factors that I noticed between studying at Manchester and studying at LSE. Even though we had these personal connections with our professors because the group was small, in terms of overall support, oh god, LSE is trash. The only saving grace was LSE Life. And, trying to balance a job, trying to balance a master's, let me tell you, it's not easy. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I never expected it, but I got it.
I'm happy because I never expected it.
I did that. But with minimal help from the LSE. And even just look at the student satisfaction. I also got a lot more support from my lecturers and professors at Manchester, as in one-to-one. They had time for me. LSE, no, these professors do not have time for you. The professors are not going above and beyond for you. But it's not happening. So another thing that I really, really enjoyed about LSE, and I actually thought was my saving grace, was LSE Life. Honestly, during my dissertation, I'd never written a dissertation before, right? There's no way you can do a master's without writing a dissertation. It's just not possible. It's like, what are you doing? So LSE Life is basically a section in the library where there are some people who are able to help you with any academia related questions, whether that's how to write an essay, whether it's how to structure your dissertation. We run sessions as well on different research tools and skills, and honestly it was the greatest. I had really good relationships with the people at LSE Life. For my dissertation, I was in the library literally every single day for that summer of 2018, and every single day I spoke to someone from LSE Life, whether it was a bit of motivation, whether it was a bit of could you read this and let me know if it makes sense, maybe just to bounce ideas on how I would structure certain aspects of my disso. If you do decide to study there, listen, LSE Life, they've got your back. Yes, another thing that I didn't like or wasn't aware of was the fact that the teaching time, like the actual duration of the course, how much contact time you have, is very short. What that meant was the social aspect of the course. It meant that you didn't have enough time to develop some of these relationships a bit more. And in my case, it was particularly even more tricky, simply because I was going to lectures, I was working, and then obviously I have to sleep and then do the same thing again. Right, so I graduated about 3 years ago from LSE, and here's the key question: was it actually worth it? Like, life after LSE, my career path since graduating up until now, I didn't need a master's for all the jobs that I've done. For example, the civil service fast stream, I didn't need a master's for that. My colleagues, they didn't have masters. On top of the fact that the civil service was then paying for people to get masters anyways, I felt dupes. Like, what? You're telling me I could have done this for free? They're not paying the 10k postgrad loan. Also, I don't actually use the content of that master's in any of my current roles. It's possible that in my new role I might use it because I'm in a research space. Might have a few nuggets of knowledge from my master's that I might dip into some of my work. So it's been a couple of months now since I've been in my new role, and I can confirm that I use a lot of the skills that I learned in my master's. So it wasn't entirely redundant, maybe just for the civil service. However, I think that's all short term, and it has only been 3 years since I have graduated. I think the returns are still yet to be seen. I do think it still will be worth it, but in the future, and I'll tell you why. I still want to be a development economist. I'm just taking a different path there because I want to be a good economist, so it's going to take me a while. In order to enter the space of development, you need a master's minimum. And therefore, I think doing the master's will help me enter that point. Just one other final thing that I would say would make it worth it is the networks that you get studying at LSE. Pretty much everyone you meet who studies at LSE is very ambitious. They're going places. They want to conquer the world. And it's so great to be involved with people like that, because not only do they inspire and motivate you, they can also open doors for you. Overall, I'd say I do have mixed views about my time at LSE, because it was a difficult period in my life. The benefits, I'm not quite seeing them in the short term, simply because a lot of the things that I have done, I would have been able to do without a master's. However, I do believe that I will see the benefits and the returns in the future. They're just gonna come to me. They're coming. If you are interested in more videos like this, or you want to hear more, just, you like what you see here, I would say it would be great if you could give a like to this video. It would be even greater if you could comment, because I will respond. You will just be perfect if you subscribe. Yeah, you'll be good. Again, that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Bye. Hey Google Play.
أنا love you more than my life. أنا أحبك يا حبيبي. أنا وبجد أنا عاشق ليك.